Today we'll be going over simple mistakes to make your builds look 10 times better in Bloxburg. Personally, myself, I'm not a good builder because I make mistakes all the time and then I realize later. So this is how you can realize them during and the mistakes that you do make. Now, the first thing that I see a lot is you need to use all three grids. You need to use the small grid, the medium grid, and the large grid, but for certain things like counters, always use the largest grid, because if we have the small grid on, there's like no options here. The medium grid, still not that many options for placing, at least like spice racks and all that, on your kitchen counters. And then this grid, you can do it like anywhere on the counter, which is why I really recommend you use the grids to your advantage. And that moves on to the next thing. A lot of houses have these empty counters, sometimes not even a sink on them. Really odd. You need to have kitchen appliances near that counter and make it look like a kitchen. Have like a dining table in that area and make it look neat. So that way it looks a lot more like a real kitchen and it is a lot more appealing to the eye. Oh shoot, I forgot to paint on a wall right here. Off topic, but hey. And that's also another thing. Many people will use really weird and not contrasting paints. They'll use, especially the new players, they'll use like blue walls or something weird. And it really won't like look good to the eye, and it will look almost like it sticks out like a sore thumb, and not in a good way, in a really bad way. You need to have a nice looking wall that looks like it belongs on the inside of a house, and not something like this interior wall on the outside of the house. Because it would look fine, but it's not going to look as good as on the inside. The next thing is people don't use shutters. Look at that window without the shutters. It looks really odd, but with the shutters, it looks more like a window. Make sure you guys use the shutters to your advantage and use them in almost all of your windows. Not all of them, because some windows look really weird with them. But use them in a lot of your builds because it really escalates how like good looking and appealing your build is. Another thing that you can use is on your doors. Most doors in real life has windows next to them, of course. So add some windows next to them or a window on top. Otherwise, it's going to look odd. It's going to look out of place and not as much like a house as you would want. So do things that are on real houses, like wall trim and all that. My wall trim is very bad. I'm not that good at that stuff. But use wall trim to your advantage and all of that, and your houses will look so much better instantly. I used to make square houses and all that. You need to make sure that they have different shapes all around them, like this. So that way they look a lot more like a real house, and they look more neat, and all of that. It'll escalate your houses so much, so quick. It's very important. Now, the next thing that really messes up builds a lot is people here don't have so much open space in your house, and they'll take that to an extreme. And I'll go into their house, and they'll have tables just everywhere with candles all over them. And it'll look really weird and just overstimulating and hard to look at in general. You need to have some empty space, like this walkway to get through here and all that. Or my upstairs has a lot of empty space, but that's because it's an upstairs. You're not supposed to have dining tables upstairs where you eat by your bedroom. That's a little weird. And in your bedroom, you're not supposed to have tables with candles in the middle of the room. That would also look really weird. And then if you put that in your head for a second and think, why would you have a room with candles by your bedroom, or a candle in your bedroom like that. Kind of odd. So don't do it. Think about what you think a house should look like and add that. Don't go and just spam stuff to make all of the empty space be gone. It makes it really overstimulating when you do that. Then the next thing that I see all the time is people make their builds too big. I'm really bad at this. I make my builds way too big all the time. If you're good at making a mansion, make a mansion. But if you're not, then you won't know how to make a good layout for that build, and you'll spam stuff everywhere for filler, and it'll look so overstimulating and so obnoxious looking. It just won't be as good of a house. You have to add creativity to it, and small houses sometimes are better with that. So it all depends on what you're good at, but I really recommend, especially for new players or people that really want to get good at building, go with a small build, because it can look so much better a lot of the time. Okay, so another thing that I see a lot is, I don't know how to explain it. But people will have, actually, here's a good one. Cameras. A lot of times people have cameras in really weird spots. I have mine in weird spots for a reason. It looks funny, and I kind of like that. But I don't recommend that. It makes your house sometimes look kind of ugly, and it really messes it up. So don't do that. Next thing that really does matter is window placement. I'm bad at this, trust me. You can tell by the looks of my house. I am very bad at this, and a lot of people are, but there are ways you can fix it. Get inspiration from real life houses for the inside and all of that. Get inspiration for the outside, and it'll really help you in the window placement, inside placement, and all of that stuff. And it'll escalate your houses by so much. Your houses will look so much better, trust me. Just try it. And if you're not good at floor plans, what you can do is, okay, so we're gonna go get a tab up on Google, and you look up Bloxburg floor plan. I don't know why I have a caps lock on. And you get all of these really nice looking floor plans. And you could take inspiration from these or just straight up use them. They're made for you guys to use. So go and use them and take advantage of what they're giving you. Make sure you go and use them, because they can really make your house better if you're bad at floor plans and layouts. Especially for mansions, actually. That's a really good idea for if you want to make a mansion. But, yeah. I mean, just go out and do that. Makes your house is so much better and much neater. Now, this is a new player tip right here. And it's pretty common knowledge for people that are not new. But don't use the path. Use floors, please. I have a new player that's my friend. He uses paths all the time, and it makes your house look so much more ugly. Not to be rude, like, it makes it not like ugly, but it just doesn't make it look as good as if you use floors. So make sure you use floors. And also, for these, like, front gardens, having a sprinkler in the middle or something, you may not believe it at first, but it really escalates the look of it and makes it look just so much more pretty and realistic. So make sure you do stuff like that. The simple things are what make your house better. Basically, what you can take from this video is, if you really put effort into it and are not lazy about it, your houses can look so much more colorful and pretty. And also, the simple things are really what make builds not as good. And the simple things would also make builds better a lot of the times as well. So focus on the simple things and not always the big idea of just a nice build, but go in depth into it and really think about what can I do to improve my building. And this video is a little bit complex and kind of all over the place on that topic. I have more videos about this topic soon, but use what you can take from this video and use them well, because it can really make your builds a lot better. And that's coming from someone who's definitely not a good builder, as me. So, I hope to see you guys with some cool houses after this video. And let me know in the comments some other build tips that I can give in a later video or something. And goodbye, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. And